now consider a simple program that makes use of two-dimensional arrays. Here we are trying to write a program that reads the marks of 3 students in 6 different subjects and then prints the marks of these students in the form of a table. The best way to store the marks of 3 students in 6 different subjects. We have 2 dimensions. We have to list the students as well as their marks in 6 subjects. Number of rows is 3, 1 for each student, and the number of columns is 6. This is our two-dimensional array. And since we'll be working with nested for loops, we'll need 2 iteration variables I and j as well. Now let me go ahead and ask the user to enter the marks. I'll make use of a for loop. For the I loop is used to make the entry for each student. Inside the for loop, I will ask the user to enter the details. Remember, the student number, the row numbers here are represented starting from 0. But we want to print the student numbers as student 1, student 2 and student 3. So instead of I will write I plus 1. When the value of I is 0, it will print student 1. When the value of I is 1, it will print student 2 because I plus 1. Once I print the statement for the user, the next step is to read the values for that particular student in 6 different subjects. So I'll make use of a j loop for this purpose. Inside the j loop, I'm simply going to write the scanf statement to read the different values. Using this nested for loop structure, I'm going to read the marks of 3 students in all the 6 subjects. The next part of this program is to print the marks of these students in the form of a table. Once again, we are going to make use of nested for loops to access the different elements of the array. I'll use the same nested for loop again. Now all I have to do is just print the values that have been entered by the user. So I'll simply say %d, that is leave some space, and then all we'll print is marks of ij. Now let me go ahead and execute this program. I need to enter marks of 6 different subjects. Now it asks me to enter the details of student 2. Similarly, details of student 3. Now when I press enter, the details of all the students, the marks of all the students will be displayed. One thing we can notice here is it has printed all the details, but it hasn't printed the details in the table format. The format that has to be printed has to be given by us in the program. Otherwise, it will simply display a continuous list of values. Now, so we'll go back to our program where we're trying to print the values, and then inside the for loop, let me first write a printf statement indicating that this is the student details for a particular student. Student %d details. %d, the value of %d will be given as I plus 1. We want the values, student numbers to be printed as student 1, student 2 and student 3. That is why I have given I plus 1. And inside the j loop, we print the details of marks of students in all the subjects. So now let me go ahead and execute my program. Once again, it is asking me for the details of the students. I'll enter the marks of all the 3 students. Now I've entered the details of all the 3 students. Now the details of students is neatly printed in the form of a table. Student 1 details, student 2 details and student 3 details. This is how we read the values for a two-dimensional array, and this is how we print the values of a two-dimensional array. Next, we'll try to add some complexity to the same program, and we'll try to add the total marks of each student at the end of this table.